Hi everybody, Emily here for Hip Kit Club, and this week we're playing with the sketch challenge, and we are using a beautiful sketch by Nikki Rowland. I decided to change it up just very slightly. I used the main image of it, however I changed the stars for florals and other layer elements. I didn't feel like the stars would be the best fit for what I wanted to achieve with that layout, and yeah, I changed it for florals, which is fine. Sketch is just there to guide you and give you a general interpretation, a general idea of where to go, and that's what I did with this. So I decided to colour 3 of those make yourself flowers. I used the shimmer paint that were part of the colour kits. So we had some blue, some purple, as well as some yellow, and it just fits so perfectly with the colours of the kit. And yeah, I just simply coloured it, and I bled a little bit of the other colours on my main colour. So like, for example, I had a main blue on which I bled a little bit of purple, I had a main purple on which I bled a bit of blue, and then I had the main yellow on which I bled a little bit of blue again. Dried it all off, and then it was time to roll them up. For them to stick properly and hold, I like to use a glue gun. So I start by rolling them, forming them, etc. And then I place them on the little bit of cardstock that I'd cut down roughly, just so that then it gives me the flexibility of placing it where I want in my layout. Once I've rolled my flowers, I like to give them a little bit of a more shape by opening them up, but also by rolling the petals slightly around my painting brush, and I give them the volume of a more realistic flower. And yeah, just playing around, making sure that I'm happy with the final shape, opening some of the petals, and yeah, that's just what I wanted to try and achieve. I then went on and coloured 4 leaves. I thought that it would really help the layout come together with the 4 leaves in green. The great thing with those colour kit is that obviously you can mix and match the colours, and you can create your own colours. So that was absolutely fabulous for this. Leaves, that blue and that yellow, work so well to create a gorgeous green, which fits perfectly with the kit. I then went on to fussy cutting several flowers and florals from the pattern papers. I didn't want to just have the raw flowers. I wanted to create a mix of textures and a mix of patterns and print. Once that was done, I wanted to create a bit of a framing for my layout. So what I did is that I removed the branding strip, and then I loosely cut by hand. I knew I wanted to have that bottom left corner that was covered with that pattern paper, and I just roughly cut it with scissors by hand. I didn't want to have something clean, I wanted to have something that was very organic, and I went on to stitch it with my sewing machine. I then ruffled up the edges, and that created again even more textures and volume for my page. To represent the circle of the sketch, I decided to use the embroidery hoops, but I didn't want it to just sit just like that plainly onto my layout. I wanted to have a base to hold onto, and I created a quick mixed media background. I used my acrylic block simply because I couldn't find any empty packaging that I wanted to use. That kind of gave me more of that packaging technique impression. And then I used the hoops one of the smaller hoop to frame my photograph. I love the fact that they work so well together, and I really adore that impression night effect with the smaller hoop on top of the bigger hoop. I went on and played with some threads, so I used the same color as what I sewed with, which was a bit like a turquoise, light turquoise. And then I went on to add all my florals. The rolled flowers, I actually glued them down with my glue gun. I felt they were more secure. And then I added my leaves. I give them a little bit of volumes. I like to have something that's a bit curled up because I really think it makes it look more realistic. I added the extra florals all around that base of my layout. I wanted it to frame my photograph, but I also wanted it to follow the hoop. It just reminds me of some of the hoops that you can see in home decor, and yeah, I just absolutely love that effect. And I think I really want to try and actually decorate a hoop to put somewhere to decorate my house, because that layout really inspired me to try even some form of DIY later on. I played with the chipboard. I did the title. I mounted it onto double-sided sticky foam pad so that it actually hold onto the layout, because otherwise it would have only had that layer bit of the frame to sit on, as it's obviously raised up from the page. So the double-sided sticky foam pad helped me to have it more securely attached to my layout. I thought it needed a little bit more texture, and I brought in some green thread that reminded me of the leaves and the top rolled flowers. It had that kind of lime color, which I thought fitted well with the rest of the layout. I went on to stamp my journaling, as I usually do, which I shortened for you because otherwise you would sit there for a while. And once that was done, I decided to add an extra layer on the corner. I thought the pink on its own wasn't enough. It needed a little bit more depth, it needed a little bit more details and I don't know, structure. Not structure, but it needed an extra layer bit. So I went on and added that little corner on top of it, and then sewed it with a sewing machine. I added a few drops of Nuvo drops around the layout just for extra details. These were colors that we had in previous hip kits. And then a few drops of India ink around just to add a little bit more drama. And this was the end of my layout. I hope you enjoyed this process video. I hope you enjoy this layout, and please don't hesitate to leave a like or a comment. Obviously use the January kit by Hip Kit Club, and thank you for sitting through as well the baby noises, because I know that probably sound great. So see you soon. Bye.